And welcome to the Back to the Retro Review. I'm the Bearded Geek. Joining me is Bebo. Mikey the Freak cannot make it this week. He had prior obligations. Today we will be discussing the 1991 movie The Rocketeer, directed by Joe Johnson. Bebo, tell us a little bit about this movie.
So basically, this is just about a young pilot who stumbles onto like a prototype jetpack that allows him to basically become a high flying masked hero. Uh, Main character's name is Cliff Secord. He's a pilot. He's trying to get into become a championship pilot. He has big dreams, and they're at an airfield, and these two crooks end up leaving they're being chased by the FBI, and they end up leaving the rocket pack in Cliff's plane, of all places. Well, him and his buddy or mentor, if you will, PV, end up taking a look at it, testing it, and decide they want to try it out. And it's just basically him basically becoming in a way a hero, but not by any fault. It was just him testing it, but it ends up being the era with us fighting the Nazis, and you find out that
Yeah.
it's supposed to be the third highest box office actor is actually a Nazi. And it has him dealing with them and stuff. It's just a big crazy thing, but it's very much a comic book-esque type of a movie.
Right. I think this movie was based in the 30s, if I'm not correct, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually based off of a novel that a guy wrote. Um, and it's just, I mean, it was something I watched when I was younger, and it was one of those things that makes you think that it would be cool to fly, without, of course, a plane. But just to have a jetpack. And then as I got older, I'm like, wouldn't those flames just be burning the hell out of his legs and feet throughout the entire time? Um, he wears this weird helmet that's got like a rudder on it so that anytime he turns his head, it changes the direction of his flight. It was just a very
Mm-hmm.
weird synopsis, but it was a good movie back in the day for when I was a kid. And it had its ups and downs in the movie. Don't get me wrong, lags. I did like the guy who plays Neville Sinclair, who is the Nazi actor, is actually played by Timothy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who ended up being one of the people to play the James Bond character. So he had that going for him. In fact, there's a line in the movie towards the end where Neville Sinclair is trying to leave, and he says, and Cliff Secord, the main character, says, what are you going to do without your stunt man? And he goes, I do all my own stunts. And that's actually a little nod to him playing James Bond, as he's one of the only actors who actually did most of his own stunts in the
Okay.
movies. Um,
So you know him from Bond. I know him from Doom Patrol.
yes. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
he plays the chief on Doom Patrol, the guy in the wheelchair. Yeah.
Yep, I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, and Timothy Dalton's been in a lot of movies, but
Oh yeah.
this was one I always remembered him in. Um, I was never big on him. I mean, to me, James Bond's always going to be Sean Connery. But I liked him in this just because he was kind of an arrogant person who, that's what we cued Nazis to be. So.
Mm-hmm.
But what did you think about the movie?
Personally, I thought this movie. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a good movie, but it was a slog for me to get through. It seemed like there was no real main highs, there was real no main lows. It was a steady line all the way through, and there wasn't nothing to get me excited about it. There was some action. Don't get me wrong. There was some action, but it felt like it needed something. It needed a little salt and pepper on it. It needed a
Yeah.
little extra spice.
I do
It
agree
just
with you on that. It had a very mellow tone throughout just the entire movie. Some action scenes, but even the action scenes were mainly people shooting as opposed to fighting and him flying away trying to get away from them.
yeah,
It
and
wasn't
I do
true
agree.
action.
I do agree with you. I'm watching it. I'm like, dude, if this was real, his lower limbs would be burnt the f off. Like they didn't address that at all.
At
It was
all.
not mentioned. It was like, we're just gonna go with it. I'm like, yeah, it's
I did the only thing I liked is the jetpack he wore. The one thing that they described in the movie that I liked is instead of it running on fuel, it ran on alcohol.
yeah.
That way it didn't like heat up and stuff. So that was kind of cool, them trying to put like a twist on that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here watching it as not as a kid anymore, going, he'd be on fire. It made no sense.
Fire, fire. Yeah, it was like I said, it was just one of those movies to where there there wasn't a whole lot for me to grab onto. It wasn't. I didn't care about any of the characters. I just
Yeah,
didn't.
it didn't get you invested in the characters. I mean, you were very entertained about like the jetpack itself, but that's pretty much it. They didn't do
Mm-hmm.
any deep dives on any of the characters. There were no real cool backstories. It was just like, hey, here's the person and here's the story.
Yeah,
The to me the greatest part in the storyline is Hughes being the one who developed the jetpack.
Howard Hughes. Yeah.
Yeah, that I kind of liked. And the video, him showing that somebody snuck out of, lost his life sneaking out the film from the Nazis about why they wanted the jetpack, which is they wanted to mass produce it and basically just make a flying army and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
um, giving that little spin to how, the jetpack came to be, I thought that was cool. But the rest of it is just pretty blah in regards to storyline, characters, and stuff. There was nothing that really made you go, oh my God,
Yeah.
what's going to happen next in the movie.
Yeah, like I said, it was a slog to get through. So this being your movie, Bebo, I'm gonna go ahead and give my rating on it. I'll let you go last. I believe that, in my opinion, this movie, with five being right in the middle, I'm going to give this a four. Oh man, three. I want to say 3.5, 4. So I'm gonna, yeah, 3.5. I'm just gonna give it a straight 3.5. I couldn't. It's not something I would recommend to anybody because there was nothing to grab onto. There was nothing to feel anything about this movie. It was just a love story mixed in with a Nazi flying jetpack superhero s type thing that it just didn't work for me. It didn't work.
Um, for me, I mean, purely nostalgic purposes, I'd probably up it a point and give it maybe a 4.5, possibly a 5 on a good day. Like I said, it's when you think back about it, like I know I really enjoyed it as a kid, but especially as an adult now and trying and like I don't know that I could recommend this to someone. Um, it's a cool take on jetpacks and stuff like that, but the movie itself was very just like we said, very mellow throughout the entire
Mm-hmm.
thing. It just didn't have enough to keep you with the oh my god suspense that you would actually need. Um, and I mean, this is back in the day. I thought that it was kind of cool how they did the special effects, making them fly and stuff like that. I will say my favorite scene in the movie though is when their truck breaks down after his first time flying and he gets in the back of the truck and turns on the jetpack and they go flying and the look on his
He goes, "I'll
buddy's
push."
face. Yeah, he goes, I'll push, gets in the back and just turns on the jetpack and the driver's just like, oh my God. I love that. But yeah, in regards to, how we usually look at movies like should it be remade or redone, I feel like they could do that with this one. I don't necessarily know that they should. but it,
Could they? Yes, they would have to. It would have to be a different type of story. You can
yeah,
still do it in the 30s. You could still do
right.
it with Nazis, but you need to make a deep dive. They need to make a deep dive. Make me care about the character.
To me, it would almost be something kind of like, if we're going to set it in that area, you almost need something with a real hard storyline, kind of like they did with Captain America, the first
Yeah.
one. They got you invested in the character and stuff like that, and they didn't really do that in this movie. An
Mm-mm.
interesting thing, though, coming to like kind of facts and trivia on this, is the
Did you give your rating? I don't remember if you gave
yeah,
your rating.
that I said I was going to give it about a 4.5.
4.5. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Um, Joe Johnston's work on this film is actually what led him to being hired as the director of Captain America,
Oh, okay.
the first Avenger. So we have a little connection there. Um, there was a cut scene where Neville Sinclair sends a message to Berlin, coded
Mm-hmm.
first on an authentic Enigma machine found for the production was filmed, but it was cut due to time constraints on the film, which I thought was interesting. The other thing, let me get it here, is um, like I said, this was originally a graphic novel. Cliff Secord's girlfriend is called Jenny Blake in the movie. In the graphic novel, though, her name was Betty Page. Dan
Okay.
Steven, who's the creator of the comic novel, based the character Betty Page upon his real life friend, a 1950s pinup girl named Betty Page, but she wouldn't allow her name to be used.
Uh, gotcha.
And I was just like, okay, that's a little interesting. And one thing you'll notice throughout the movie is them use Cliff Secord, the main character. He's always using gum for good luck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Beeman's gum, and Beeman's is the lucky gum of pilots. And in the 1983 movie, The Right Stuff, you can actually see Chuck Yeager ask his crew member friend for some Beeman's before a flight. So they did try to keep into, the realism of, that is actually lucky gum for pilots and stuff like that. So I
Okay.
thought that was interesting. What about you,
I
my good sir? You
I
got any cool
I have my new segment called the amazingly wait, what do I want to name it here? I'm naming it live for you guys. The amazing movie memorabilia. This is memorabilia that to me I found interesting that you can purchase today for the movies from this movie. We have number 5, we have a 1991 Tops the Rocketeer movie 18 candy bubble gum dispenser statue figurines. It's like a box and it has the bubblegum statue figurine in it. For all 18 of them, you can find this on eBay for $109. You also have the original NES The Rocketeer by Bandai. That goes for $139.99. So basically $140 for an
wow?
NES game, man. For an NES
That's a
game.
lot for a Nintendo game.
Dude, it's only going up from here. Number 3, the Rocketeer RAH first edition 12-inch action figure doll from Medicom Toys from 2002, $412.
That's a lot of money for a doll. I'm sorry, action
For,
figure.
for yeah, for an action. Also from Medicom Toy, the Rocketeer prop size mask, limited to 100 from Japan, $839. If you're a
That's a
fan of the
lot for
movie,
that mask.
it is, but I mean, for a life size prop replica, that's probably about right. Actually, I wouldn't.
I would agree.
I would say that's about right. For you have also my last one, number 1, the Rocketeer Cyrus X3 Rocket Pack. It looks like a replica of the Rocket Pack for $1,600.
So for $1,600, you too can make believe that your flames or that your legs are flame retardant and won't burn
Amen.
when this thing turns on.
Get the rocket pack and the mask, and you're good to go, man. And the
I've
helmet.
actually seen only once a Rocketeer at a Comic Con that
I
we've
don't think
gone
I've seen
to.
any. I don't
And
think I've
it, I
seen
mean,
any.
it was pretty good. Like he had it like full on. He had the helmet, the pack, Cliff Secord's pilot jacket and stuff. It
Oh,
was
that's
it was pretty
cool.
spot on.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, guys. I know this was a short one. I know Bebo's not feeling well, so we're gonna end this right here. I believe that does it for this episode of the Back to the Retro Review. Tell us what you thought about this movie. Leave a comment. Hit that like, subscribe. Let us know what you would like us to review in the future. And so for Bebo, I'm the Bearded Geek saying, keep it retro, everybody.
See ya.